look at this assignment together. The directions say to use the example on frame 2 as a model for how to solve questions 1 through 5 on frame 3, and use frame 4 as a model for how to solve questions number 6 through 10 on frame 5. So this is called a Jamboard, and Jamboard has frames. So for example, Google Slides, they would be called slides, and in Google Docs, they would be called pages. In Jamboard, they're called frames. And if you click on this right here, it'll expand all the frames for you. You have 5 here. Okay, there's 5 frames. Frame 1 is just the directions. Of course, you're not to use a calculator for these, so that's kind of a reminder for you there. The directions say use example 2 on frame 2 as a model for how to solve 1 through 5. So let's look at frame 2. Frame 2 is our first example. So in the example, we're asked to find -2 minus 5. So we can write an equivalent addition expression. -2 minus 5 is equivalent or equal to, or the same as, -2 plus -5. And then we know they both have the same sign, so we can just add the two numbers. 2 and 5 is 7, and our answer is gonna be negative since both of them are negative. So you use frame 2 to solve questions 1 through 5 on frame 3. So each of these, 1 through 5, you would write an equivalent addition expression. Let me take my pen and show you here with number 1. We would write an equivalent addition expression, and then you would solve. Let's go back to frame 2 and compare. -2 minus 5 is equal to -2 plus -5. -2 minus 7 is equal to -2 plus -7. Okay, we followed the model. And one thing that I want to point out, here they have parentheses. We can write with parentheses or without parentheses. Parentheses sometimes help students to distinguish between negative sign and operation. And then we would just solve. 2 plus 7 is 9, and we know the answer is negative since both of the numbers we're adding are negative. Now we're going to use frame 4 as a model for how to solve questions 6 through 10 on frame 5. So now let's take a look at frame 4. Frame 4 is our second example. It asks us to find -7 minus -8. We have to write -7 minus -8 as an equivalent addition expression, then add. So -7 minus -8 is going to be the same as -7 plus 8. That's the equivalent addition expression, right? So when we have two negatives next to each other like that, that's the same as just plus. And this is confusing here a little bit because there's parentheses here, but if you take the parentheses away, then you notice that there's two minuses next to each other like that. That's going to become a plus. So those two, this would be equivalent to -7 plus 8. And then we can just add -7 plus 8. We know that that's 1. Okay, and so this example, and I'm going to just erase this because this is just some extra stuff I put here. This example, example 2 on frame 4, is going to be the example we're going to use for the questions on frame 5, which are questions 6 through 10. So for question 6, right, you would rewrite this as the equivalent addition expression, which would be the same as -4 plus 5, and then you just solve. Okay, hope this video helps to clarify any questions you have about this assignment. Good luck, and I am here on Fridays, available for office hours. If you'd like to come to office hours to ask questions if you're struggling on this assignment, I would be happy to help.